emotionally invited, so call me back. Okay, I love you. Bye.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Emotionally Online, the show for spilling guts and sharing secrets, hosted by yours truly, the one and only Maddie Drosbeck, who has made her apartment cold as fuck so as to pretend that it is fall outside. Why is it 90 degrees out? America, we have a problem. What's going on out there? 90? I get that it's still summer until the 21st. Get it? Don't care. September means cold to me. I understand that the planet is fucked and now it doesn't get cold until mid-October. I'm unhappy with it though. So I'm going to need you to fix that. Thank you. And get me my fall weather because I'm ready for sweaters. Okay? I'm ready to step outside my front door, sweater and jeans, baby, and feel comfortable. I don't want a jacket and I also don't want a tank top. I want sweater and jeans, comfortable, a little chilly even, a little shiver going up my spine while I'm sitting outside. That's what I'm looking for in this life. Not happening right now. It's fucking 90 degrees in New York. And I'm going to Vegas this weekend and it's going to be 100 degrees the whole entire time I'm there. Lady Gaga's lucky I love her. Lady Gaga's lucky I would take a bullet for her. It's the only reason I'm going to Vegas is for fucking Lady Gaga. What business do I have being in Vegas? I barely drink. I don't smoke. I've never really gambled. I've been to a casino before. I've been to Vegas before. But it's not really my thing. And I hate the heat. And what else is there in Vegas for me? Okay? Not much. But I'm going to Vegas to see Lady Gaga, to see her in her jazz show. I saw Enigma back in 2019 when she had her residency, but I never saw the jazz show. So going back, enjoying her jazz show while she's there. Started out, it was going to be a mother-daughter trip, and then somehow my entire fucking family got invited. So now my dad's coming, my grandma's coming, and my little brother's coming, on top of the fact that me and my mom are going. So whole family's going to support Lady Gaga. As we should, as everyone should, okay? Lady Gaga is usually a family affair in my family. But yeah, what happened? What happened to the mother-daughter trip of the century? Now we've got 100-degree weather and the whole fucking Brady Bunch is coming. What's going on? I've got such a packed day today. I'm trying to film a YouTube video, film the podcast. Then I've got a tattoo appointment. Then I've got to take Mango back to the vet because, as you know, she had conjunctivitis. Treated her for it for a week. She looked like she was getting better, and 5 days later it came back. So now I have to go fucking take her to the vet, figure that out. It's just so much going on today. And it's trivia night. Can't miss trivia night. Gun to my head. Doesn't matter how busy I am. I will show up at that bar for trivia night. Okay. We're on a winning streak. The lads. Okay. You need to understand this. We are the underdogs. We've been building ourselves up over the course of a year. From the full year. We came in first place last December after we were playing for like 5 months. Then we came in second for the first time in February, and then nothing for months. We're there every week. In the last month, we have placed top 3 times. The last 3 times I have played trivia, we came in second, and then last week we did first. We're on a streak, okay? Now I'm like very aware. When new people are coming to our location to play trivia and they've never played before, we are the team that they're sitting at their table going, oh, we got to watch out for the lads. We got to watch out for them. Because we're fucking smart. And we've been working so hard to get to this point. And here we are. And I'm just soaking it up. I'm living in it. I am so happy that we're killing it at trivia. We won a $50 gift certificate last week. Got free drinks all this week on the house, baby. It's what we deserve. I feel very excited about all of it. And I'm not trying to gas him like this, but I will say that Robbie has been a really great addition to the team. Because here's the thing. we were smart as it were, right? We always have a good score. We're always only like a few points off from the top teams. It's just getting up. Those last 3-4 points that we need to get up to the top. And the problem is that none of us have man knowledge. I don't know shit about sports, or I don't know, shit like the Matrix. What business do I have knowing anything about the Matrix? Okay? Nothing. I have no business knowing about the Matrix, knowing about college basketball, knowing about Star Wars. I don't have any business knowing those things. But you know who does have man knowledge? Robbie. He's been killing it. So shout out to Robbie if you're listening to this. I'm actually going back on Robbie and Sebastian's podcast next week. So when you're seeing this, I will not have been on the podcast yet, but they're doing call-ins for the show. So you can call in to the Loud About Nothing podcast and leave a voicemail for us to listen to on the show when I go to record with them next week. They have the phone number in their Instagram bio at Loud About Nothing. If you want to go check it out, leave a voicemail. Tell us what's going on. And yeah, I'm so excited. I'm very excited to go back on their podcast. I'll definitely have to have them back on here at some point since they were such a celebrated pair of guests on this podcast. So I gotta tell you guys something absolutely buck wild bonkers crazy that happened to me 2 weeks ago at this point. So 2 weeks ago, I decided to re-download dating apps. And by dating apps, I mean Hinge, because I refuse to use any other dating app. Decided I would re-download Hinge. I took 3 months off. I wasn't on Hinge June, July, August. And I haven't gone on a date from Hinge since April. So really it was a little longer. But officially deleted the app, deleted my whole account beginning of June with the plan to take the summer off of dating. Ended up re-downloading the app like 2 weeks ago just to be like, let's see what's going on there. Let's get my profile set back up and I can, just observe from a distance. Next morning, I wake up and guess which brand is in my inbox? Hinge. Hinge wants to work with me. I gasped. I was like, fucking finally, run me my check. So I think I'm working with Hinge on Instagram, which is like the timing on that was crazy to me, to be like re-downloading a dating app and then the next day Hinge was like, do you want to work together? And I was like, do I want to work together? So I'm pretty excited about that because Hinge is the only dating app that I would want to work with. I've long said that I hate Bumble because it's for men that don't want to put in effort. I hate Tinder because it's for a bunch of people that are just trying to fuck without treating you like a human being. OkCupid I actually think is fine. I've met good people on OkCupid, but by far the dating app I've had the most success on is Hinge. To me, it's the only one worth being on. If you're gonna be on dating apps, be on Hinge and nothing else, in my opinion. I think the experience of being on a dating app is challenging regardless. Listen, dating is bleak no matter where you're looking. We all know this. But I think that if you're going to be on any dating app, Hinge is by far the one that I think has the best algorithm and the best pool of people to select from. Also, I will say, and I remember when they came out with this feature, I talked about it. It was when they added the relationship intention feature on Hinge. And I was like, okay, great. Now we can see what people are looking for. And you can have right on your profile that you're looking for a long-term relationship. Loved that they added that. The last time that I was on Hinge, it was like people were still filling it out for the first time. And so a lot of people wouldn't have the relationship intention on their profile yet since the feature was so new. Since downloading it again 2 weeks ago, I will say a lot more people have that part of their profile filled out. I actually want to say that the majority of people that I'm seeing on Hinge have in their profile that they're looking for a long-term relationship, which I was pleasantly surprised by. Because before, when people didn't have it filled out, I would just be like, oh, if it's not filled out, then I'm not going to swipe on you because I'm not even going to take the chance, right? Like, if I don't know what you're looking for, I'm going to assume that we're not looking for the same thing. Because in my head, I'm like, if you were taking dating seriously and actually wanted to meet someone and go on a date on the apps and we were looking for the same thing, you would have it written in your profile because you would also not want to fuck around, right? Like if you're looking for a long-term relationship and you're on dating apps, presumably you're going to be pretty forthright with that because you're like, I'm not here to fuck around. I'm here to actually meet someone. So if you don't have it written in your profile at all, I'm like immediately no. Odds are we're not looking for the same thing. But it was a new feature at the time, so a lot of people didn't have it in their profile because it was new and people don't update their profiles that much. But now it seems like a lot more people have it filled out, or maybe the algorithm's just doing a better job at showing me people that have similar profiles that I do. It does seem like it's showing me people that at a baseline are more in alignment with what I'm looking for. Doesn't mean I'm interested necessarily, but it just means that they're not showing me people that are all like figuring out my dating goals. If you're on a dating app, figuring out your dating goals, perhaps you should get off a dating app. That's just me. Oy vey. For all of the not asked for promo I've done for Hinge, I deserve this. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy town bonkers USA. So it's been like 2 weeks of being back on Hinge. I'm like more of a passive user at this point. Because I think at this point in my life, I see dating apps as being purely supplemental. I am more interested in dating in other ways, in person, going to speed dating, trying out just other methods of meeting people and trying to push myself out of my comfort zone in that way. But you just never know, right? And also it is exhausting to put yourself out there and meet people in other ways. I mean, I've talked before about how I always leaned on and liked dating apps because of like the initial affirmation of like, yes, I'm attracted to you. Yes, I'm into you, and how that like loosens me up. And it's like easier for me to flirt with people once I have that. And it's hard for me to flirt with people when I don't have that. I think I have a lot of body trauma. I mean, that's the truth. And yeah, it's nice and it's easier. I feel more confident flirting and putting myself out there when I have the initial thumbs up. And though I feel that I've been having a good time dating in other ways and trying to put myself out there and meet people outside of the apps, it's also way more emotionally draining. And it is kind of nice just to be able to be like, okay, here's a way that I could possibly meet people. A supplemental way that I could meet people. So one of the many ways I'm dating at the minute. I haven't really spoken to anybody. Just, small talk conversations with people that I've matched with on there. Actually, the first person that I matched with on Hinge, their first message to me was, "Hey, Maddie, love your YouTube videos." And it was a man. And I was like, you are a rare breed. A straight man in Brooklyn that watches my YouTube videos. There's like 5 of you. I hope you know that. There's like 5 of you, and I think 4 of you are my friends. So that's funny. I didn't know if I should be like, oh, jump scare. This is scary. What do you mean you watch my videos? Which ones? What have you watched? Or if I'm like, oh, really? Like you like what I'm saying? You're in alignment with what I'm saying? Okay. Maybe I do want to go out with you. I couldn't tell if I liked it or if I was like, oh, what does that mean? What does that mean you watch my videos? We actually had a good conversation. It fell off, but I thought that was funny. First person I matched with when I re-download Hinge, after Hinge reaches out to me less than 24 hours after I re-download the app. And now this man is like, oh, hey, I watch your YouTube videos. I'm like, what is going on? What do you mean you watch my YouTube videos? So hello, if you're here. I hope that you're not. How humiliating. I don't know why it's humiliating. It's not. Kind of is. I don't know why it's humiliating. It's just one of those things that it's like, people are like, oh, I watch your YouTube videos. And I'm like, You mean the thing I do? I didn't talk to myself on my couch several hours out of the week, and you're like, I've been listening. And I'm like, you've been listening? It's like hearing that. I think that to me, my reaction is almost like learning that somebody has been sitting inside my brain listening to me think. That's what it feels like when someone's like, I watch your YouTube videos. And I'm like, you do? like, what do you mean? What do you mean you watch my YouTube videos? You listen to the podcast? That's like learning that you're inside my brain. I think I only react this way when it's like in this specific scenario, though, when it's people that I'm like maybe pursuing romantically, meeting on a dating app, being like, oh, I watch your videos. I like when my friends watch my videos. I love when people who watch my videos come up to me in public and introduce themselves. That's all fine because I'm like, you get me. We're in an alliance. But I don't know, when it's someone on a dating app being like, I watch your videos, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's a good thing. But wild. We just don't expect to see that here with my 96% women audience. It's the girlies and the gays over here. But I love that there are, a few straight men that like the show. My sensitive straight men. My straight men in touch with their feminine side. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. So anyways, follow me on Instagram, I guess. See me get that hinge bag, baby. Paid for all of my years on dating apps. It's what I deserve. Yeah, it is. It is. It is exactly what I deserve. Thank you. Thank you very much. And with that, I think it's time to get into some audience submissions. If you don't know, we've got an audience submission box where you guys can submit anything and everything you want to the show for me to potentially read out and talk about. You can tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. You can ask for advice. You can ask me if you're the asshole or if your friend's the asshole. You can get anything off your chest. Really anything that you would like to bring up at the sleepover, you can bring up at the sleepover. Or if you just like to submit a topic, some drama that's going on in the world, some celebrity drama, and you're like, Maddie, I need your take on it. What's going on here? Any topic, anything you want to talk about on the show at the sleepover, you put in that box and I will maybe talk about it. So let's get into it. Hi, Maddie. Love your podcast. My friends and I don't really talk about sex and love, so I appreciate hearing your perspective and witnessing your openness and talking about the subjects. My boyfriend and I were just talking about the sexy to cute ratio that we each have. He thinks that I'm more sexy than cute, whereas I feel he's more cute than sexy. He'd like to move the meter on that ratio so that he's more sexy to me, but I can't ever think of specific examples of what I find sexy, which brings me to ask, what do you find sexy in a partner? Specific actions, mannerisms, words, etc. I think hearing your perspective might help me figure out what I find sexy. Also, do you see yourself as more cute or sexy, or are they equally balanced? And do the people you date tend to be more one than the other, or do you feel someone's ratio changes based on the situation that you're in? For example, getting coffee together versus a romantic dinner. I used to talk about this all the time in college. It wasn't the sexy to cute thing. It was sexy, cute, and beautiful, and everybody is more one than the other, or that's how I felt at the time. I feel very differently about it now, honestly, and I think it's because I am much more anti the standard perceptions of beauty than I was when I was younger. Because I always said that I struggled with seeing myself as cute, and I always saw myself as more sexy and sometimes beautiful, but never cute. And I can tell you exactly why I felt that way, right? Like, that's not rooted in truth. I'm not cute, right? But the reason why I perceive myself to be more sexy is because my body has made it so that I've been incredibly sexualized by most of the people that have pursued me ever. Even now to this day, I have very minimal experiences where someone has pursued me romantically without like aggressively trying to fuck me like immediately. I don't know that's depressing. I'm like sitting here trying to think. I'm like, has anyone ever just thought that you were a sweetie heart and they wanted to impress you emotionally? No, everyone always just wants to fuck. I hate it. That upset me so much. So my perception of myself as being more sexy than cute is not rooted in anything other than the fact that I have experienced a lot of hypersexualization in my life because of what my body looks like, and just because of, I don't know, the fucking cards that I was dealt with the men I dated in college. Not that it's a bad thing for someone to want to fuck me, or like if somebody is pursuing me sexually and romantically at the same time, that's fine. I'm also interested in the people that I'm dating sexually. But it's like when it feels like the primary thing, which it usually does feel like the primary thing, that kind of sucks. And so I think that it impacted the way I saw myself. I never saw myself as cute because nobody was ever making me feel like I was innocent or protected, or like I was something to be like cherished. Instead, I was being made to feel like I was like sexual kryptonite. Which doesn't feel bad, right? It feels good to be desired and wanted in a sexual way. I'm not saying it feels bad, but I would like to have a balance, right? I want to feel sexy and powerful in bed, but I also want to feel like I am being seen as sweet and sensitive, and that somebody is looking at me and wanting to like take care of my heart and make sure that I'm good, and not just looking at me for what I can provide for them sexually. Now, when I talk about this topic, I don't really like boxing myself into any of those three, because I know that I am all three. I am cute, I am sexy, I am beautiful. In different contexts, I will be a little bit of each. But to answer your question of what do you find sexy in a partner, I think I'm like very predictable in this way. I find dominance very sexy. I've talked about this before. I'm a switch, but I definitely lean more submissive. I love being told what to do. Also, like when someone touches you in a way that feels like they are leading you or telling you what to do, that is very hot to me. Like if I was out with someone somewhere and they had like grabbed me to move me out of the way of something, obviously I can do that myself. You can just say, oh, hey, Maddie, heads up, and I can move. But there's something about someone moving you and just like physically telling you what to do that I find like very hot. You have to be the right person to do this, right? Like I don't want anybody telling me what to do. I specifically want a partner that I am sexually invested in telling me what to do. And I think it's because I'm so not like this in my day-to-day life, and I'm like very independent, very much always want to make the decisions for myself, do not like being told what to do in like my day-to-day life, have a very specific way that I like to do everything. I like being in charge. But then during sex, I love not being in control and being told what to do. The physical aspect of being told what to do is what builds it up for me, though. Like if I was just like, I don't know, like if I was dating someone and I was cooking dinner and they started telling me what to do, that wouldn't turn me on. I'd be like, shut the fuck up. You sit down and you worry about yourself. But if they were physically telling me what to do, like maybe I was cooking and they had to get past me and they grabbed me firmly, tightly, roughly, and like scooched behind me and moved me so that I was up against, I would lose it. I would be like, I'm turning off the stove. I think things like that do it for me. For sure. Other things sort of like this that would turn me on is like being taken care of. which is like, I guess like the inverse of being told what to do is like when somebody just does things for you, acts of service, mama. Okay. So like if I am flying back to New York and I arrive at the airport and somebody is like, oh, I'm going to pick you up. They don't ask me. They just say, I'm going to pick you up from the airport. What time do you land? Okay. Whatever you say. That's hot to me. Just like doing things without being asked to do them, being kind and generous and like taking care of me without me having to ask you to is hot to me. At the end of the day, I am horny for love. We've talked about this. So sweet things that show I'm being cared for are very sexy to me, and they do read similarly to being told what to do. Is when someone just like does kind things for you, takes care of you without you having to ask. Also, when you are in a public place or in a group of people and they just give you like tiny displays of affection that other people probably wouldn't notice, but you know that it's like, oh, okay, so we're fucking when we get back. You know, hands under the table, someone grabbing your knee or your upper thigh, hand around the waist, trailing across the hips, moving you, like I said earlier. All of these things, just like little tiny, extremely horny physical things. Do it for me, I guess. These are all things that I find very sexy. It's all about like dominance and care to me, I guess. That's what it goes down to. That's it, I guess. I don't know. I find a lot of things sexy. I'm just thinking of like everyday things that I find sexy that are like ways that somebody could initiate sex with me or could initiate me perceiving them as more sexy in like everyday life. There's other things that I think are sexier that would make me see someone as sexy that are maybe less common. Yeah, I don't know. And then the last part of your question was, do the people that you date tend to be more one than the other, or do you feel someone's ratio changes based on the situation that you're in? I think, honestly, I've never perceived anybody else as being, like, on a ratio chart like this other than myself. I think that I judge myself like this all the time, but I feel that I've always experienced other people as being a mixture of all of these things in different scenarios. It's still hot in New York, but I'm pretending that it's fall because I need to start wearing my fall outfits. There's nothing I love more in this entire world than getting dressed during the fall and winter months. It's the best time of the year to me. And I'm particularly excited about this fall and winter because I've started renting clothes on Nuuly, and this will be the first fall and winter that I get to rent different pieces and have some fun with my favorite time of the year for fashion. If you've never heard of them, Nuuly is a subscription clothing rental service. For just $98 a month, you can rent 6 pieces, wear it up to whatever locations, plans, vibes you've got going on, and then at the end of the 30 days you just send them back and order another box. But if you find something that you end up really loving and you want to keep it as being a part of your wardrobe, you can buy any of the clothes that come in your Nuuly box at a discounted price. They've got access to thousands of styles from hundreds of different brands. If you've seen those really popular puffy Selkie dresses, I own 2 of them. They have Selkie on Nuuly. So if you've ever thought to yourself, oh, you know, I've got this event coming up and I really want a Selkie dress, but I don't want to drop hundreds of dollars on it knowing that it's just going to be worn for this one event, now you can rent a Selkie dress on Nuuly. I had previously never tried a clothing rental service because I didn't realize that they would carry my size. I think I just always assume that my size is not carried in these sort of things, that I got left out. But I was not left out. Nuuly does carry sizes up to a 5X. They have super fast free shipping and returns and professional cleaning in Nuuly's state-of-the-art laundering facility. So if you get a stain on any of your clothes, don't worry about it. Don't even try to get it out yourself. It's not on you, babe. You just put that back in the box, send it back to Nuuly, and they will take care of it. It's just so much fun to get to spice up your wardrobe, try different pieces that you might not normally try. Nuuly's a great value at $98 a month for 6 items, but right now you can get $20 off your first month of Nuuly when you use code Maddie20. Just go to NUULY.com and use code Maddie20 for $20 off. Again, that's NUULY, Nuuly with 2 U's.com, and use code Maddie20 for $20 off your first month of Nuuly. So get in there and get the fall fashion rolling. That's right. We've declared the end of summer. Happiness is near. Go get your fall clothes. Hi, Maddie. Just to start by saying I absolutely love your podcast and I'm a big fan of the energy you put out into the world. I wanted to ask for your thoughts on something I've been struggling with recently. I broke up with my boyfriend of 6 years earlier this year because it had always felt like we were sexually incompatible, and it was a conversation I would consistently bring up, but it would always feel like I was the one that had to compromise and be okay with what we had. In every other way, it felt like he was my person. We had grown and evolved together over the 6 years. In lots of ways, we were each other's best friends, and I truly thought that was it. I'd found the person I wanted to spend my life with. And I think we could have spent a life together perfectly happy. But I always had this feeling in the back of my mind that I would never know what it was like to actually have that passionate sexual connection if I didn't try to find it. I'd obviously been trying to find it in my relationship, having conversations with him, suggesting new toys/activities we could do together, and yet it still didn't feel like he was on board. And so after many painful conversations and wishing it could be different, we broke up. I still feel very torn about the decision even 6 months on, because in so many other ways he was everything I wanted, but I couldn't help but feel like a true connection that was playful and sexual, etc., wouldn't be possible unless he was willing to be vulnerable and to try and craft this sex life with me. I decided that I'd been waiting for 6 years already and it hadn't happened yet, so going off of that, I had to make the decision to leave him and stop waiting. Did I do the right thing? You are the only person that knows if you made the right decision. So at the end of the day, you are going to have to trust yourself over what your friends think, over what your family thinks, over what I think. Nobody knows what is best for you better than you. So I just want to start with that. Every relationship is different, right? And you prioritize and choose different things in this life. So in some relationships, the sexual aspect and making sure it is just exactly perfectly what you want and you're on the same page, it's going to be important. And in other relationships, it's not going to be important. You choose your hard, right? You choose the things that you're willing to work on and work through in a relationship and what you just want to have. And you also get to choose when you're done working and when you feel like, okay, this isn't working anymore. We've given it a shot. This is a big deal to me and I can't move past this. There are some people that would be in your situation and say, oh, this isn't a big deal to me, so I'm not going to leave this relationship. But there's other people that would be in your situation and say, this is a huge deal to me, and yes, it is a deal breaker. I can't tell you what are your deal breakers or aren't your deal breakers. If it were me, it would depend on a few things. Sexual compatibility is important. It's very important to me. Having a vibrant sex life with the person that I'm with is like high up on the list for me. And I think I could work through a lot of sexual incompatibilities. I think I'm a pretty flexible person, especially when I care about someone. But if I felt like I was the only one being flexible and my partner was not trying at all to meet me where I was at or give me more of what I was looking for sexually, I would definitely reach a breaking point as well. To me, it's less about having the perfect sex life and more about being with a partner that wants to explore and work through that together to create a sex life that works for both of us. Where it would start to go off the rails for me is if I was with someone that had like no intention of meeting me where I was at or had like a lot of issues with the way that I was sexually, because I don't want to feel shamed in a relationship. You know, like how many times have I gotten submissions, have we talked about in any of the content that I put out on the internet about like dudes that are insecure about the inclusion of a vibrator, right? Like I could never be with someone like that. I could never in this lifetime be with someone who was insecure about the inclusion of a vibrator in sex and didn't want me to use toys because it emasculated them. That is a huge turnoff to me. And also, I find it to be a red flag in more ways than one. Like, for that, I'm like, I can't even imagine someone like that being like perfect in every other way, because I just feel like if you're emasculated by a vibrator, you clearly have some like masculinity and misogyny issues that you need to work through. And also I feel like that would come up in other ways as well. It's not only the vibrators that that's shown by. So it's hard for me to imagine myself dating someone like that, period, because I just don't think I would end up with them or think that they had everything besides this one thing. This is an extreme example. I don't know exactly what your partner's like, but there's like limits and boundaries to everything. There's a certain amount that we're willing to put up with and work through, and then there's a certain amount that we're not. At the end of the day, you choose your hard. You choose what kind of hard you want to have in a relationship. And if this is something that you are deciding is a deal breaker, this is not a back and forth that you want to be having forever, that is your fucking choice. I don't think anyone should be able to tell you that it's not right that you broke up with them because you weren't sexually satisfied or didn't feel like you were compatible in that way. Sex is a huge part of a relationship. I don't think that you should feel bad for making that decision or question if it was the right choice. If you made that choice, I assume it wasn't an easy one. And so I assume that if you made the decision to make that choice after putting in time and effort to try to make it work, you reached a point where you were like, I don't know what else to do. This is sort of it for me. I would trust yourself that you made the right decision in that regard. I just feel like that's not a decision that you make lightly, and it does sound that you tried to make it work and to figure it out, and it sounded like he wasn't doing the same. But maybe they can't put in more. Maybe this is literally all they have to give, in which case you shouldn't be together, because I mean, you shouldn't compromise if this is important to you, if this is what you want. So I can't tell you if you made the right decision or not, because I don't know what are your deal breakers or what levels of what or how much work you're willing to put in. But I think there absolutely exists a world where you made the right decision. And I think maybe to some level you just have to trust yourself on it. Hello, Maddie. First things first, big fan. Your podcast is something I look forward to every week, and I love your sincerity in all that you do. My question is, how do you define sex? I know a lot of people would assume that only penetrative sex is real sex, and stuff like fingering counts as just foreplay or not the real deal. But since only 1/3 of women can orgasm through penetration sex alone, I can't help but feel like this definition is outdated. Me and my boyfriend define sex as actions that lead to orgasm, but I'd be super interested to hear your thoughts. I think sex is whatever you want it to mean. I don't think that we need to have a united definition of what sex and having sex means or looks like. I mean, for one, I think describing real sex as only being penetrative sex or like genital to genital sex is super heteronormative. So that's number one. Also, all sexual relationships look different. So you can be in one relationship where penetrative sex is like a big part of your guys' relationship, and then you can be in another relationship where penetrative sex is like never a part of your relationship and it's always oral sex. And that doesn't mean you and your partner are not having sex. And in some relationships, that is how it works. And that's completely fine. You just have different habits with different people. You enjoy different things with different people. Different couples just do different things for a variety of reasons. And I don't think it really matters. I guess I just don't really care how people define sex for themselves. I think it would start to piss me off if someone was like looking at other people trying to invalidate their experiences or be like, you've never had sex before, you're a virgin, just because they haven't had like penetrative sex with a penis. That would be like the most insane thing ever. But if someone else was like, I only categorize sex as being penetrative sex, that's fine. I mean, I don't care what you categorize it as yourself. I think for me, in the way that I speak, I think sex to me is oral or penetration. If I was with someone and they just fingered me, I think I would just say we hooked up. I don't think I would, like when I'm telling my friends, I wouldn't say I had sex with him. I would say we hooked up. If we did oral, I would say we had sex. If we did penetrative sex, I would say we had sex. If we didn't do those two, I would probably say we hooked up instead. And hooked up to me can be anything. Hooked up can be penetration. It can be oral. It can be fingering. It can be he fucking sucked on my nipple for 20 minutes. That's hooking up to me. It's like anything with like a sexual tone. Heavy petting can be hooking up. And then sex to me is like I anything that feels more intimate than that, I guess, which to me is oral and penetration. Fingering doesn't feel as intimate to me, so I guess I don't consider that sex. But if other people considered it sex, then cool. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I think you decide what is sex and what isn't. I mean, honestly, I've had intimate experiences with people that I don't count as being sex because they were like horrible, awful people and it was a traumatic experience for me. So that's another reason why I don't think that we need to have like strict definitions for what sex is, because especially when we bring trauma into the picture, it is like not helpful to some people to refer to like, this is sex. I had sex with this person if that person abused you or assaulted you. In those situations, it's unhelpful to be like, I had sex with this person. It's easier to just call it what it is. I was assaulted by this person. So I think for a lot of people, they don't want to call that sex, even if it's like, oh, it's the same action, right? It's still penetrative sex, but it's not the same. So you don't want to call it that. I am like that. That's how I feel. There are things that I won't call sex because to me, sex is supposed to be fun and enjoyable. And I have had some sexual experiences that were not fun and enjoyable and were actually quite traumatic. So that's another part of it. I don't think that we need to come to a concrete definition of what sex is. I think you can decide what it is for yourself, what level of intimacy you feel comfortable describing as sex. Different things for different people. I think a lot of people describe it in different ways. For me, it's definitely oral or penetration I would describe as sex. But you describe it however you want to describe it. Hi, Maddie. I'm an emotionally online girly from Madrid, Spain. Here, it is pretty common for women to go topless at the beach out of fear of my saggy boobs. I have always avoided it, but not today. And personally, it was freeing as fuck, and I felt naughty in the best way. But I'm kind of worried I might have bothered other people. What are your thoughts on this matter? Love to hear them. First of all, do not concern yourself with whether or not you bothered other people. If other people were bothered by you, that's their own fucking problem, right? That's not your burden to carry. If other people are being haters and are bothered by your tits, they can close their fucking eyes and go to a different beach. Like, that would be the stupidest thing to me. And listen, I get it. I've talked on here before about how, like, having big boobs, growing up with big boobs, there were always adults that had issues with me. Like, I have vivid memories of wearing an outfit to a music festival. My mom reposted a photo on her Facebook page of me and my sister at a music festival. And this woman's in her comments like up in arms that my mom lets my sister and I go out like this, being slut shamed. Boobs are always a topic of conversation. Why are you dressed like this? You're not allowed to wear a top that looks like that. It's inappropriate. It's whatever. Wanting to make you feel bad for the way that your body looks. And it's like, oh, I'm wearing the same outfit as every other girl here, but it's a problem when I'm wearing it because of my tits. Get a life, Carol. Toughen up here, okay? I just feel like at the end of the day, if other people are bothered by your chest, if other people find it inappropriate, if other people are like, oh, golly me. It's like, go back to the fucking 50s. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. Like, it's embarrassing. It's not your burden to carry. I don't think that you need to worry about if other people are bothered by your tits or not. If they're bothered, sucks for them. You are just trying to be comfortable and have fun at a beach. If someone else has a problem with that, fuck them. They can go literally anywhere else. But also in my eyes, if you're going to a topless beach, there's no way you're expecting all the boobs to look one specific way. Like if you have big boobs that are also natural, you have saggy boobs. Let's be real and honest right now. Perky boobs that are also big are not real. So what do we think was going to happen? Right? Like if you have big boobs, they sag. Gravity. I love it. Science. Women in STEM. So I'm like, if you didn't know that big boobs also sagged. You didn't know that people had big boobs and big boobs would be present at the topless beach, and you have a problem with that. Maybe you shouldn't have gone to the topless beach. I don't know. We have a topless beach in New York City. I didn't realize we had a topless beach in New York City until I went, and I was like, oh, we have a topless beach in New York City. And I remember the first time I went, I was like, this place is amazing, because there was a range of so many different body types and everyone was just tits out having a good time. And I was like, this is amazing. I love it so much. So I don't know. In my head, I'm like, when you're going to a beach, are you really expecting everybody at the beach to look like people on social media? There's just no fucking way. Because we know that in real life, real people don't look like that. And real people's tits look so many different ways. I don't think everyone's expecting them to look one specific way. That would be wild if they did. And if they did, that's their issue. Deluded. Delululemon. Come on now. Big boobs sag. Also, I'm so over these people because I'm like, you got to look at big boobs today. My boobs look this good and you got to look at them and you're complaining? You are ungrateful. And Santa's not coming this year if you don't shape the fuck up, okay? He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. And you're being bad right now. Because what the hell? Being a hater when you've been graced in the presence of big boobs, whew, count your blessings, people. That's all I've got to say. Don't worry about bothering other people with your beautiful, gorgeous tits. If they're bothered, that's their own problem. All right, shorter episode today, but I've got so much to do. I've got a tattoo appointment. I've got to take Mango to the vet, and I've got to get ready for trivia and somehow edit this podcast and my YouTube video. It's a crazy life that we live in these days. Anyways, love you guys so much. Again, I'm going on Loud About Nothing next week, so be sure to call into their podcast and leave them voicemails. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye.